In the awkward spring of my adolescence, when my chute sprung up in the wrong direction and I traded training bras for ace bandages wrapped tight as tourniquets around my heart, the premature bloom of my belly strained the thin skin of my barely budding body like the thin cotton of my t-shirt, and beneath it, you felt like a little fish swimming. Crashing against the inside walls of me, I learned to love you slowly. You were born of a minor act of violence, an under-the-radar betrayal in an afternoon haze of pot smoke and boredom between two urban urchins hanging around bus station bathrooms in my redneck town. If you were a teenage boy with a girl's body hidden under his board shorts, you didn't have many friends. I had one. He was once a shy bookworm like me. We bonded over Nintendo and Lord of the Rings, but his daddy made him mean, and meth made him crazy. Or maybe it was the other way around. But one day he came around with a constellation of bruises on his back, where his old man had beaten him with a bicycle pump. That was the day he unwound my bandages, exposed my heart like a wound. He wouldn't have taken no for an answer if I'd offered it. But I didn't. My feelings for him were a hand clamped over my mouth. I couldn't risk losing my only friend, so I let him bury his anger inside me, and you grew there, like an ash tree where a crank house blew up. You were the last thing I wanted, but you were the only thing I had. In the days leading up to the fatal overdose of my tweaker friend, I still can't bring myself to call your father. Sometimes he'd knock me around some, and sometimes, lying on the floor, I'd press a hand to my belly, feel the thump, thump, thump I told myself was your heartbeat. Actually, it was my heart. I didn't know then you could feel your heartbeat from anywhere in your body. Didn't know a fetus's heartbeat is light and fast, a hummingbird dance under your ribs, and it was so small I couldn't have felt it through my skin, but maybe this was the story of us. I went looking for your heartbeat and found my own. You were my sign of life. In your 7th month growing inside me, I got shoved down a flight of stairs, and you were born in a sterile room of IV tubes and beeping machines while I hemorrhaged. Like you were so much a part of me, ripping you out of me almost made me bleed to death. As hard as it was for my body to let go of you, it was harder for my heart. It took me 3 years to sign the guardianship papers. 3 years in welfare hotels, riding the bus to high school with you in your little backpack, kicking the backs of my elbows to admit I still had a lot of growing up left to do myself. Gave you up to give us both a chance. I was never really your mother. I may never be your father, but your life and mine will forever be tied, and for that I am honored because I may have been through some shit, but you may have survived more just on your way to being born. You are the strongest person I know. My little fish is a tadpole. You've grown legs long enough to lift you above all this, and if all I ever gave you was a way, I hope when I did, I at least gave you a way out.